Hello and welcome to another video of the highlight for the tournament. This match between MicroBit and Nuke'm Bro, two very experienced OpenRA players. And this match, particularly interesting because of the demonstration of a absolutely greedy econ-build. You will see here by Nuke'm Bro, and what this means for your strategy should you choose to pursue this type of strategy. For our top left position we have MicroBit playing as allied, and to the bottom right we have Nuke'm Bro playing as Soviet. We're gonna see him basically using the most greedy build you can do for the start. It's a small map, and normally you'll see a very early aggression because of the absolutely short distance between the players. So we have a MicroBit. Actually, how the hell did he get those soldiers? Yeah, he built the barracks for a couple of units and sold it. I guess to save, I mean, he obviously have some kind of build order planned out for this. It's going to save some power, and of course you get your few bucks back, but I'm positively sure he's not going to build any more soldiers for this. Built enough soldiers to cover his edges, so he's not going to be surprised by any attacks, and also will prevent any early scout units from coming forth. But Nuke'm Bro is not going to build any infantry whatsoever. He's going to go straight for the ore refinery here, and his next building will be a war factory. And it's, as you can probably guess, going to start to push out ore harvesters right away. Now, if Nuke'm Bro were to play against a random player or someone he didn't know, of course he would probably choose to get some infantry out with his build. But knowing MicroBit, being a more experienced, more or less conservative player, which are not going to do some rush attacks, it's going to take this risk, and and it's going to get a huge economy out of it. It's going to keep pushing out ore harvesters. MicroBit, on the other hand, is going to go for a very early hind play, and of course it's going to sacrifice a lot of economy out of it. Only with his one harvester out, it's going to hope to do some damage with their hind. Probably going to produce a couple of hinds here, and which oftentimes can be very dangerous to anyone. And as you can see here, Nuke'm Bro's only nuke, I mean not nuke, but only power plant is going to take a hit of this. But as you can see, still alive is the power plant, and it's going to give Nuke'm Bro the time to react to this strategy and retain a massive econ build. So MicroBit is going to build his second ore refinery before his harvester. I mean before his war factory, excuse me, and probably to sort of plan out a early attack. I mean, if you do this, build two ore refineries, it is because you want to have some sort of unit combination into the mid game. And there you go. Nuke'm Bro, of course, his only defense here is anti-air, which is the perfect counter to what MicroBit is doing, and therefore can get away with this sick econ build here. Already has a advanced power plant up, so that's going to render any early hind play useless. So what? I mean, look at this. Already 6 harvesters up, and probably a 7th harvester coming out of that war factory. MicroBit in this position is going to be far behind and will be pressured to do some type of type of push to punish this build, but the clock is ticking against him, and but this is how you do it if you want to pursue a high econ game. And of course you have to sort of know your opponent. This strategy is the extreme version, and he can do this because he knows MicroBit. They have played a lot of matches in the past, and for this moment, of course, he's gonna lose his his 2 yaks here, and it's gonna get a good view of what MicroBit is doing. Of course, he knows he's already way ahead in economy. Actually, he's already mined out his first ore patch, and don't mind losing his yaks too much. And of course, with the heavy ore harvesters count that he has, he's going to want to expand very quickly, which of course he will do with the newly built service pad. MicroBit's positioning his light tank in front of the ore factory actually might prevent, yeah, it's going to prevent his, I think there's an MCV coming out of that ore factory, so that's good. That's good for him. Of course, this strategy won't work any longer because in the new release you can actually destroy husks, so you can't prevent your opponent from building anything out of them no longer. So MicroBit building light tanks, which are now a mute. What is it? Well, they're useless units on this point. Nuke'm Bro with this massive yak army is gonna have an equal amount of map control compared to MicroBit this way. So, as you can guess, of course, Nuke'm Bro from this point on, he's gonna be dependent on expanding because ooh, that's well, that's 5 yaks, about 5,000 credits. So, and an opportunity for MicroBit to actually come back, because as you can see here, 6 harvesters with basically no more ore to harvest. And MicroBit has enough map control to stop any expansion from coming out, so he's going to be dependent on that. So that's, I would say, maybe like 10 yaks for Nuke'm Bro during this game. So here comes this MCV. It's going to actually avoid MicroBit's light tank and possibly get to his position without being noticed. That's very good for him, because he's absolutely dependent on getting his expansion up. And ironically, for the time being, MicroBit has a minor econ lead just because he's still harvesting, and Nuke'm Bro has actually lost a lot of his value in those yaks. But with this new base forming on the bottom left side here, with a SAM site, wisely enough, and a couple of heavy tanks to back it up. If that gets up, that might be checkmate for MicroBit. MicroBit himself is building up an army, so still has a chance to make up for it. Also, just discovered Nuke'm Bro's base, so his reaction should be to either attack right away or expand himself. Here we have Nuke'm Bro's ore harvesters looking for new jobs. And Nuke'm Bro, seeing that MicroBit has not expanded himself, will focus his entire defense up at his new base, which would be natural. I would expect MicroBit think, is that an MCV of MicroBit? Going to the top right there. For the time being, with these videos from the tournament highlights, I will not be in control of the video footage, as these are pre-recorded footage, which is why I can't momentarily check out all the features of the match. But we indeed see that the MCV of MicroBit is going up, and being immediately discovered by Nuke'm Bro. He's going to start sending up his yaks to damage it. Actually did a lot of damage before it's set up, so it's so without any defense here, and with Nuke'm Bro's heavy tank army, it's gonna be in jeopardy. Actually taking a lot of fire here, and yes, that anti-air gun is not going to protect that MCV, because it's going to be taken out by this heavy tank. Yeah, and there's nothing to stop it. Hinds do not do a lot of damage to heavy tanks, and without any defense here whatsoever, it's going to be taken out before any or refinery is put up there. And he's got a few tanks himself, but at this point Nuke'm Bro has his base actually already mined out the bottom left position with his swarm of ore harvesters. Yeah, of course MicroBit realizes that he's in dire straits and will try to attack Nuke'm Bro's MCV with everything he's got, and that will be the game ender for this match. But yep, of course this econ strategy is the most extreme that you can do in a normal match, of course, but depends on your ability to know your opponent. And in big team matches you can of course do this strategy. Nevertheless, a good econ build is a crucial basis for any OpenRA strategy, so go out there and practice it. That's it for this video. This is So Scared, and thank you for watching.